everybody, welcome to an introduction to numbers, counting and adding. A lot of these skills that the children start to learn are often taught alongside each other, and that therefore these skills build on each other. So one of the starting points is first to understand that each object has a value of 1. It is 1 by itself. So this is a 1. This is one object. This is one object. This then helps when the children start to come to then start counting the objects. So as they've become more familiar with just discussing number names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and continued onwards, okay, they can then start to apply this to actually counting objects. Often, the first way of starting is to move and to count the objects. The physicality helps the children while they're counting, and also ensures that they're not over speed counting. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As the children get more confident with recognising that each of these is worth 1, they can then point count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Common mistakes that tend to happen is that their fingers or their voice are moving faster than the other one. So we'll get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or we might get a 1, 2, 3. So it's really important that they really point count. You might find that if they're over skipping, they need to go back to moving and counting again. Okay, as they're then learning to count, they're also going to be learning to actually that numbers are represented by numerals. I know there is another video on the hub about how to write these numerals down that might help you. So as they're learning the fact that this number, this value of 5, has a numeral representation. Each one of these has a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As they're then becoming more familiar with this then gets us to the point where actually we can start getting ready to add these numbers together, when they can actually start to count these numbers objects and read these as numerals. So, for example, I might have then this calculation that I'd write down. 4 add 2. Now, again, we tend to introduce it as add, but it's really important that children learn other words for it. So add, plus, get ready to get some more, go and get some more, any of these. So again, we'd start with objects. So I'd have my selection of objects that I would have with the children. Okay, really important to start them off with the largest object first. So I would ask them to go and get 4. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my starting value. Add, plus, get some more, 2. Now what's really important is that they understand that this group is this number value. I'm not going to get the 2 from here. I need 2 separate objects. Then we can introduce our equals. Let's get ready to count how many all together. All of these words are really important. Look at the table and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count how many all together. What does it equals? We can continue this with increasing numbers, going up to sort of 10 into the teens, for their confidence to build of how many objects they can pull down and count. Once they're confident with getting objects to count and add these numbers, we might start to represent it or ask them to calculate it in a different way. So we have the beginning of our number line. So number lines, the children will learn, are going to come in all shapes of formats. So you might have it on going horizontally like this on a ruler, vertically on a measuring jug, in a circle on a clock. This will come over again and again. So I now have my number line. If we stick with the same calculation we had before, I would like the children to work out 4 add 2. I ask the children to find the first number, the largest number, on our number line and circle it. Here's my number. I'm getting ready to add or plus 2 more. Now, the best way of explaining this to children is that they either have froggy or bunny hop jumps. Really important that the bunny lands really carefully on each number. That's a really common mistake. So add 2. I'm always going to the right. Add means increasing, so the numbers are going to get bigger. So I start with my 4, add 1, add 2. Circle my answer. Again, as I said, common mistakes is the fact that you'll get too many hops or inaccurate, so then they'll miss the number. Really good way of practicing this physically to begin with is actually drawing out a hopscotch on the ground and getting the children to start a number and jump that many more. So here we've then got our basic number line, okay? So also we can then start to encourage them to do this mentally. So for example, we'd say, here's the biggest number, shove the number in your head, or remember it, I'm going to add 2 more. So stick 2 more things up, put 4 in my head, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6. So we can encourage mental calculations as well as doing it physically and in pictorial and written form. Again, these number lines will then start to increase inside, so we can then work on the fact that where we have, like for example, a ruler. So now our ruler will go up to 13. So now we might have the calculation of 14 and 2. I can find my number 14, circle it, 2 bunny hops, increasing, add, getting bigger, 1, 2. Here's my answer. Now, as this is going on, the children will of course be learning to read and write and to know larger and larger numbers, okay, going past 20 into the 30s, 40s and up to 100. This is where then our 100 squares come in. So again, I still may be now dealing something with like 34 add 2. So again, locating it. We'll have a video on how to read and use 100 squared to help out on another time. So I find my 34, circle it. Okay, again, I'm going to the right because I'm adding, I'm staying on the same line to begin with. 1, 2. Now, really important thing to remember is as they're going right, okay, really good way to actually introduce 100 square when they're starting to know more numbers is actually to cut it up into slices. That way you can layer it. So you might only want to begin with maybe up to 30 or up to 40. So you could cut it off here, whatever size your child knows the numbers up to. Remembering that when we get to the end of a line, okay, this is the one where it tends to go wrong. They need to do a massive bunny hop all the way back down to the next line. This is where a lot of children forget that here is add 1. Okay, we'll do another video another time about how to introduce column addition. Hope that helps.